The game industry looks like it might be crashing. And I'm not even joking when I say that, because I think we've seen this happening for a while now. But now we actually have like additional situations where more people are being laid off. This is Crystal Dynamics on LinkedIn announcing more layoffs. And this is the specific post here. Let me bring it up. It says, today we made the very difficult decision to part ways with a number of our talented colleagues as the result of evolving business conditions. This decision was not made lightly. It was necessary, however, to ensure the long-term health of our studio and core creative priorities in a continually shifting market. Now, this is the same Crystal Dynamics that had a pretty hefty layoff, like 3 months ago? So I gotta be at this point wondering, like, who's even left there right now? This is wild. This is wild. To those impact, we recognize and thank you for your hard work, talent, and passion. We are committed to offering the full extent of support and resources at our disposal during this transition. To our teams, players, and partners, thank you for your continued support as we build a creative, sustainable, and resilient tomorrow together. This includes the future of Tomb Raider, which remains unaffected by this decision. Guys, I think we all know with what's happening with Tomb Raider, with how it got like hardcore wokeified. They basically chopped her tits off and was like, yeah, she looks like a real life girl now. It's not fake anymore. And I'm like, wait, girls in real life can have huge tits. That's actually a thing. and oh, by the way, even if it wasn't a thing, it's a fucking video game and it's a franchise based off of a chick with huge tits. Why would you cut those down? I understand getting rid of the triangles, but still, like, why would you knock them back so far? This is the epicenter of where the company went wrong. You want me to turn Crystal Dynamics around? I could do it in 1 minute. Hire me, Crystal Dynamics. Let me write one email to the team and I will turn your entire company around and you will start selling millions of copies of games. It's literally that easy. But no, this is one of those situations where they're pushing the message in front of profits, and they are destroying their entire company because wokeness is a cult, it's a religion, it's a priority. Because at the end of the day, they're pushing the message over what gamers actually want. And as far as the comments are concerned, very sad to hear. These people are hiring. Sad news. I guess we won't be seeing Legacy of Kain franchise again anytime soon, which is very true. Of course, Phil Rogers and Embracer Group are still employed and well paid, though. I was worried for a minute. Oh, yeah, that's the other thing with Embracer Group and Crystal Dynamics being affected with it. Job resources. Can you make another post or edit this one with the names and roles of those let go to help support that? No, they can't do that for privacy purposes. They're not going to do that. That's no company does that. Magali Stratton says, so sad to hear, sending my thoughts. Here's a list of open job opportunities at Electronic Arts, which is very curious because that kind of leads me into my next point. They think that they have a job available over at Electronic Arts. Might want to put a hold on that because this was a situation that was shared to me privately. Another person on LinkedIn over at Electronic Arts who says, this is Luck Van Grudel. After 3 incredible years at Electronic Arts, my time there has come to a close due to a recent workforce reduction. Working at EA was an honor. I had the privilege of helping build a leadership recruitment function, partnering with world-class teams, and contributing to a company that has inspired me since I was young. It's hard to say goodbye to such a special place, but I'll always carry the lessons, friendships, and experiences with me. Now, when I read that, I'm just like, okay, well, straight up, if EA had other opportunities available, they probably would have considered this person to fill those roles. And since he got laid off after 3 years of being there, like maybe there'll be roles available in Electronic Arts over here. But with a workforce reduction happening, I see this was yesterday, by the way. I see this as potentially foreshadowing for a major announcement coming out of EA for a additional workforce reduction, layoffs coming out of Electronic Arts as well. And that's typically what happens when you have a major release coming up and about to come out. They start to wind down the personnel because they aren't needed anymore. The game launches, like, yeah, we don't need all these other people. You got Battlefield coming out, but okay, thanks for your work here. The game's out now. Like, yes, obviously you're going to keep people there to make updates and patches and fixes and stuff like that. But the thing with the game industry that I realized when I was working in it is they don't just keep you on staff out of kindness. It's like, we don't have anything for you to do right now. Goodbye, QA tester. We will call you back if we got something for you coming up in the future, potentially. There's a lot of gigs like that in the game industry where you don't have a guarantee of a job from day to day. That such is the life in the world of entertainment. It's so much fun when you work in the industry. It really is. But it's also very unnerving and stressful and pays absolute dog shit for what you're doing. So it takes a very special love of the game and situation and circumstance that you can actually work in it and sustain your life while you're there, because it's not for everyone. But regardless of that, these two situations happening right now, to me, strike me as part of a greater problem happening in the game industry. And I know I've been predicting a game crash for what feels like 10 years now. One of these days I'm going to be right, and it's going to completely surprise everyone. Like, because I feel like everyone is just expecting it. So when it actually happens, I think people are going to be confused. And it's like, oh, it's actually crashed. Like, I think one of the major problems that we see happening right now is like my experience with Stellar Blade. Fantastic game. I'm loving my time with it. But it's also a very long game. And my priority is to get through and finish this game without getting distracted with other games. So anytime I'm gaming, for the most part, unless it's like shorter game sessions, stuff like that, I am just sitting down and playing Stellar Blade for 2 to 3 hours at a time when I can find that time to do that. That means if I'm dedicating all this time to a game and it takes, we'll say, 45 to 50 hours to beat the game, and as an adult, you can't find 2 to 3 hours every single day. Sometimes you have a day off or 2 days off, or you're doing something with the family, whatever. You're talking to beat that game, minimum month and a half, minimum, but potentially 2 months, 2.5 months, unless you can dedicate a solid 2 to 3 hours every single day to the game. It's going to take a significant amount of time to get through it. And my greater point with all of this is that's not sustainable. If every game coming out does that, not everyone can buy every single game and play every single game. And eventually they're going to start stacking up. And we all know about the backlog, but this is like a front log now of games that are like, I can't get to all the games that are coming out in front of me, never mind the games behind me. And that in itself is creating a situation in the game industry where it's not sustainable for people to continue purchasing games. That in itself, I think, is the ultimate downfall of the industry. Not to mention all the greed, microtransactions, and all that other stuff. But there's a lot of issues. And good point, Demonic. Let me point out this one. Demonic 114 Smart says, when Doom flopped, you know the industry is going to be screwed. Oh, yeah, that doesn't even touch on the whole Game Pass situation, what's happening with the studios, ID at Xbox, with how much money Microsoft is pouring into all these developers with not necessarily making the money on the other end coming into them, assuming that it would. It does kind of feel like at this point a house of cards where it's all going to come crashing down. And it's not a matter of if, but when. And ultimately, when that happens, you thought you saw a lot of layoffs over the past 6 to 8 months. You haven't seen nothing yet. Like, if this is anything like the previous game crash in the, what was it, early 80s, that decimated an entire industry. Sure, it was very different back then, but anyone who was anyone, just whatever they were working on, went to crap. Nothing sold anymore. All the time and money they put in everything gone instantly. It is scary to think about, but we will see. We will see. It is going to happen, by the way. It's again, just a matter of time. Which also, I guess we'll leave it with this, is very concerning with everything going to online digital distribution and giving all the power to these massive companies. Because when that game crash does happen, they will still have full total control of pricing everything, pulling things away from people, allowing things to be sold in other places. And you won't have the ability to make the choice yourself with the physical games. They will have the full power, and they know that. That's what's really scary about all of it. But I will leave that one there.